yes. Hello. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, man. I am smiling. I've been smiling since I've been up. Actually, it was kind of a rough start for me. I'm not going to lie. When I first got out of bed this morning, I was kind of like, oh, man. But, I'm up. And the moment I got out of bed, I was pumped up and ready to go. So I'm excited about this day. We finished the clubhouse. We had the room for improvement this morning. Awesome. Some amazing people came on this morning. Great shout outs to them. I love you all for being there. We have a special guest this morning. Folks, we're excited about today. Today's Tuesday, and I love Tuesdays. Taco Tuesday, right? So, no, but most importantly, it's the day after Monday, and here's the thing: the day before Wednesday, right? What? So it's a great day. Every day is great if you make it that way. It's all about how you wake up and what's going on between those 2 years. And if you can actually change your attitude, adjust it just a little bit, have some gratitude, and go out there and conquer your day, I promise you, the attitude alone will take you so much further than having a bad attitude every single time. I promise it will make you have a better day, even if it's identical to the day that you have. By starting the day off with today's gonna suck, you're gonna have a much better day just because of, once again, your attitude. So make sure your attitude is adjusted, because when you do the math on attitude, right, you get A, which is 1, and then you do T, you add all the numbers like based off the numerical, like where they land in the alphabet, and you add them up, it's 100. What? It's exactly 100. Do that with your team. So you have to always give it 100 every day. Make sure that attitude is at 100. Make sure everything's at 100, because attitude is 100. 100% of the reason why that you are successful or not successful. So make sure that you guys adjust that attitude and you get it going right. So speaking of making a tangent about attitudes, I don't know why. Here we go. Yeah. So since we have the right attitude in this room, do us a quick favor. Tag a car guy. Tag a car It's that time. Let them know. Friends, let your enemies, let everybody know that we are Brewing Solutions on the Car Guy Coffee Podcast. What? We have a very, very, very special guest. But for those of you that do not know, I don't know how you don't if you're watching the show, but I am Lou Ramirez, the Car Guy. And I'm Fred Lenartz, the subprime hero. We are Brewing Solutions on the Car Guy Coffee Podcast. Woo! Go ahead and get some more people in the room. We have somebody that really is a problem solver. When you talk about needing to brew some solutions, some serious stuff comes up inside of the dealership world that sometimes people like to put it aside, not take a look at, and then it becomes a bigger problem. So let's talk about some real fun stuff today. If you want to talk about mitigation, you want to talk about problem solving, we got the right man in the room. We might play a little bit of a game, maybe, I don't know, a little stump the chump, right? A little something to find out what problems this solutionary can solve for you all. But do us a quick favor, because there is one other problem in the room. There's incredible people that are not in it. So get them in here. Yes. Tag them. Share. Sharing's caring, folks. Make sure you do that. And wow, when you do, I promise you, it feels great. It really does. So make sure you do that. We're going to get this thing going. We're going to drop a few words from our sponsors real quick. Enjoy these messages from our sponsors as we get ready to raise the flag of being elite, like the Elite FI partners, Michael Offmith, and all of the solutions that are helping make things happen in F&I departments all throughout the nation. We are excited that we are connected and we can raise the flag with them. We are elite. Man, good. All I know is I'm wearing this really cool hoodie. What? I really think I like that. Before you add, you better think. That's right. Thinkadgroup.com, man. Check them out. These are some great people, solutionaries for your butt. Just in case you didn't know, there's so many solutions that the Think Ad Group has to make sure that you help to uncover the things that are just beneath the surface of your business. I mean, you can find so many customers out of the customers you already have. You can do so much business if you take care of and cultivate the relationships that you already have inside of your dealership. No doubt. Group does a great job of that. You need to give us a call, give them a call. If you want to schedule a campaign for your store, I'm telling you, it's going to be worth it. And it will probably blow your mind as you jump into that. I would suggest that you reach out to me and Lou, because we got some amazing stuff going on. Our network is huge, and we can connect you with so many different people, with so many different ideas, so many different ways to transition your dealership from average to above average, below average to back to average to above average. And I can make it happen very quickly. We have the right people, the right network, the right group, the right anything, the solution that you're looking for, we've got it brewed up. We're ready to bring it. So make sure that you reach out to Lou and I. My phone number is 270-872-9277. You can reach me any time of the day. Just send me a text, send me a call, whatever it is, I'll be there for you. And we promise you the solutions that we're bringing are going to be the baddest solutions across the nation. We have all kinds of people that are just sitting there waiting to help. So let's go.
Speaking of solutions and solutionaries that are all assembling things together, we have our very, very, very good friends over the Dealership Toolkit. We're always brewing solutions and trying to find a way to help things come together so that you have the tool inside of your belt that you need as you seek solutions for those that you're trying to serve. Now, car guys, car gals, we have a few more messages that we'll bring through as the show continues from the rest of our incredible sponsors and partners. But we want to go ahead and get things started.
We do need to get this party started.
Solver that's sitting backstage waiting to jump inside of the cafe and brew some solutions with us. So do us a quick favor. And I mean, I don't know, when I think of this special guest of ours, well, let's go ahead and name him Mr. Tom
Kline.
Right?
That's right.
I think of a little song. Now, we do not own the rights to this music.
We do not own the rights
to drop.
So don't mute our music.
But
Facebook.
There is a song. You might have heard it one time or two. But when I think of this gentleman, I think of this.
Oh, no. Here we go.
Don't play. If there was a problem, yo, I'll solve it. Check out the hook while my DJ revolves it.
All right. So if there is a problem, yo, I'll solve it. That's exactly what this solutionary
That's
is
what he's
doing.
about.
So let's welcome him to the cafe.
Check out the hook while he revolves it.
Drop that mug inside of the emojis as we welcome Tom Kline.
You know what's up?
The cafe. Welcome.
Hey guys, great to be here. Sorry I don't have my hoodie on.
Yeah.
Rocking the jacket,
hey,
looking nice.
You're looking great, my friend. It's all about just feeling good. Whether it's a hoodie, it's a jacket, if it's a t-shirt, whatever it is that you feel comfortable in and you feel good in, it's all about. And you look like you're feeling great this morning, my friend. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Doing great. I got my coffee.
Hey,
here it is. I need to get a mug from you guys,
That's
but
right.
You know it's coming, man.
After.
You're a special guest. You get all the special stuff, man.
That's
so it's going to happen.
Right.
That's part of coming on the Car Guy Coffee podcast. There's a swag pack that comes right afterwards, and we appreciate it. Wow. So we have some amazing people in here just, tuning in. We got Sheev. What's up, Sheev? We got Steven Logston, my man. Great young man. We got Jackie Grillo. She's in here. What's up, Jackie? Smiling ear to ear every single day. I promise you right now, she has the biggest smile in the whole world right now going on. Right. So we appreciate y'all. Keep sharing, keep growing. And everyone else out there who's commenting that we don't see your comments, we do apologize. I know that a lot of times these comments, they somehow don't show up on the StreamYard. And we apologize for that. That's hopefully they'll end up getting that fixed. But there's so many different sources that we share this show at the same time right now. Like on Facebook, we're like in about 30 different groups right now. So not every group will pull up. So if we do have comments, we will go back and I will try to come back like I always do and write down and, give you a little thank you for that. So we do appreciate it. So feel free to comment. We will get back to you. But man, we have Tom Kline in the house. Better vantage point. That's what I'm talking about. And, Tom Kline is somebody that we've been connecting with. We've been just really enjoying what he's been bringing to us. The information and the questions that he asks are just, they're exactly what a solutionary is all about. So welcome to the show. Hope you're doing great. We're ready to have this good time with you.
Great. Let's do it.
So Tom, tell us a little bit so that our audience knows what it is that you actually do. Better vantage point. Man, that's just definitely something that you always want to make sure that you take is a different vantage point to what it is that you're viewing. Because a lot of times we're seeing the same thing, but from different angles, and it's impairing our ability to actually improve something just because of the vantage point that we're looking at. So I love the name of your company. I love what it is that you're doing. But for those that are watching that do not know what it is that you do, tell us a little bit about what you do before we kick off this 5-liner and start flying.
Sure. So what I do is I make sure that the money that you make is the money that you keep. So dealers are focused on sales. So we got all the money coming in through the front door. But what I do is make sure it doesn't walk out the back door. So I do that by focusing on 3 specific areas. One is dispute resolution.
Right.
The second is risk mitigation, and the third is compliance. So if you'd like, I'll spend a couple quick minutes on those three, or
please do bring it.
Show,
this is your show. We're highlighting you, my friend.
So dispute resolution really starts with what I call online risk mitigation, which is, what do you do to solve your customers' problems online? Do you have a method, or do you have a policy and procedure where when somebody posts a complaint on Google or Facebook, or, as one of my clients, any of the hater sites, if anybody posts those, do you have a way to solve that problem? Do you have a person at the dealership to mitigate that risk? Because regulatory and lawyer problems usually start with online complaints. And I'll help a dealer, either I'll do it myself and help the dealer that way, or teach them how to do it so that they start resolving the complaints of their customers. That also goes with employees. So dispute resolution, I call it 3 legs of a stool. So really, that's the first leg, is dispute resolution, making sure that from soup to nuts, whether it's a lawsuit, a regulatory problem, I'll help bring it to conclusion, or bring it to conclusion for the dealer, or talk them through or train them on how to do it. So that's number one. Number two is, how can we, how can we transfer risk to another party? So to an insurance company. I'll go in, I'll analyze all the insurance policies, find out where the holes are, of which usually there are a lot of holes, and then start plugging those holes with insurance. And then secondarily to that, plugging those holes with policies and procedures that we can put in place to make sure, as I said at the beginning, that the money you make is the money you keep. And then the third part is compliance, which is, there are so many rules and regulations. It's hard for me to even keep up with them. And I was an owner of a dealership for 30 years. So it's even hard for me to keep up with. But on compliance, is anybody auditing your deals? Is anybody looking at your policies and procedures? Is anybody making sure that your IRS 8300 forms are filled out correctly? Are you doing it? Because penalties are up to 5.5 million and 5 years of jail time for willful non-compliance. So these are things that you just can't mess with. You just have to have a policy, you have to have a procedure, and you have to make sure that you're doing it. And I go in from kind of a 40,000 foot view, plug all the holes that I can immediately, and then we start working through the process of continuous improvement activity and making sure that on a monthly basis that we're looking at all these items and looking at the new ones and looking at the old ones, and making sure that we're reviewing where the liability could be, and doing what we can to make sure that problems stop before they happen.
Wow. Once again, folks, you hear why we started off the show with if there was a problem, I'll solve it, right? Because there's so many problems that people get into encountering that they don't even know are going to come.
That's right.
You don't know that they're coming. You don't anticipate it, because as you're building your business, you want to think all good, all roses, but you have tick people off sometimes, right? Or sometimes it's legitimate. Sometimes it's really a legitimate fix that you need to have inside of your organization. Sometimes it's something that you really drop the ball on, and we all have to approach our business with a humble attitude of how do we serve the customer? If they had the bad experience, well, that falls on us. So we need to fix that experience.
Yeah, and adjust it. You'd be surprised with just calling them and talking to them and just trying to resolve something. What can do? It's just it's as simple as that. In a lot of cases, what you're talking about is so on current topics right now. I actually had a great conversation yesterday with a gentleman named Gary Silman. He may be watching it. If not, hopefully he does check it out later. But Gary's all about compliance. I mean, he's like majorly, like, I don't know if you know who Gary is, but Gary's like so deep into compliance that he was like, I need to talk to you, man. I really want to talk to you about it. And so we had a great hour-long conversation yesterday about that type of stuff. And I'm gonna tell you,
pretty passionate.
It's coming, and it's happening very fast. And dealers out there who think they're doing it right, they're actually doing it wrong. Majority of them are. the way they're keeping their paperwork compliant, how they're doing their digital sales, how they're doing online sales. It's though it seems like they're doing it right, they're doing it wrong. And those fines can lead to jail time, especially if you know you're doing it wrong. 2, it could lead to major fines to the point where it could shut you down. So you need to make sure that you're doing it right. And then your reputation. Now, as a dealer, your reputation is everything. When somebody starts saying that this dealer does unethical work at his dealership, people are going to not go there anymore. They're going to start going, hold on, I don't want to go there. My information is compromised. You're talking about my credit information, that stuff that's so important that I've worked so hard to keep. It's compromised now. So it is key what we're talking about. It is key what Tom is all about. It's key that he is solving problems for people out there and trying to figure out a way to get a solution for what's going on. And man, I love that you're talking about this morning, Tom. It's exactly right up our alley.
I mean, Brew Solutions, that's what we do, right? So I want to point out something here for those of you that do some of your reputation management.
You said do.
I said do. And you said but earlier.
I did.
But
it happens.
So the understanding that you're going to run into problems with your customers.
Right.
And as much as you fight to try to get some good reviews, understand that you leave yourself out there for other bad reviews to come in. And I know that it would spin me out when the first time that I would start going through our Google reviews and giving a response, right? Giving a thumbs up, giving a like, saying, thank you for visiting us. And then you run into that 1 star. And it's not even something that you did wrong, right? It's not a broken part of your process. And they bark some really horrible things out at you. And you're like, oh man. Oh, you're getting yourself ready. Oh, getting ready to get your fingers going crazy, starting to give an answer real quick. And then you got to pull back because your answer can't be something that looks like you're as ticked off as you are when you're writing it back, right? You can't answer out of that emotion. And you still got to answer with some sort of a smile, as you're typing. There's got to be we appreciate your constructive criticism. Thank you for visiting us. We look to try to make this better. Contact a manager. I always put that in there. Please contact a manager. In any case scenario, we want to make sure that you're happy no matter what the experience. Please tell us how we can get 1 more star, right? Because if it's either a 5 or it's a 1, and that's usually where it dances. You don't have anybody like, you know what? That was really a 3. Let me just go with the 3 on that, right? It's either a 5 or it's a 1. It's either everything or nothing. And we got to deal with our composure because sometimes even your response could be a problem to the customer and swell up the issue. And if you don't think people are sitting there reading what the company says back to the customer, well, you're wrong. And you don't know my wife and you don't know his wife. You know what I mean? as we're reading these comments. But folks, there is something that's key inside of that. Because even if somebody puts a finger in your face saying something that you actually legitimately did that's wrong, or they're putting a finger in your face that's unwarranted and you didn't do anything wrong, you have to sit there and apply 3 F's in order to keep growing. And so we're going to do that before we get this 5-liner kicking, my man Tom. We are going to forgive, focus, and fly together because ultimately that's the only way that we can keep growing and keep improving. So join us real quick as we do that. We are going to forgive, focus, fly. Go ahead and put the hands on the shoulders one time, brother. On 3, we're going to wipe off the weight of unforgiveness. We're going to focus and we're going to fly. On 3, 1, 2, 3.
Forgive.
Wipe it off. There you go. Focus. There you go. And fly.
And
keep growing. Keep growing. Yeah,
that's right.
That's what I'm talking about.
Man, I am so excited, Tom. You are exactly what I'm talking about. We love solutionaries. You are right up there. You're right up my alley. I'm excited about dropping this 5-liner on you, folks. 5-liner time. 5-liners, 5 questions that we love to ask our guests. And these 5 questions are designed to get to know you, see how you got to where you're at today so people can be inspired by you. And I'm inspired by you. That's why you're on the show. It's time to share that with the whole world. Let's get this thing going. I see you out there, Timothy Wilson. Good morning, y'all. That's right. I appreciate you. Folks, I see you out there. I know I'm looking on LinkedIn. I see there's plenty of people watching on LinkedIn right now. Hopefully we can see your comments. I've seen a bunch of y'all. There's everybody everywhere. We appreciate it. So keep it going. 5-liner time. 5-liner time. My first question is always the same, Tom. My first question is my favorite one. Everybody has a purpose, a why. There's a reason why you go for it every single day. When you wake up and you're like, today's going to be the day, what is that motivation?
I like helping people, Fred. I mean, what I do is try to make sure, as I said, that the dealer is protected. And I enjoy that work. It's challenging and it's fun for me because I'm kind of an OCD guy. So I like making sure that all the boxes are checked. I've got one client I just started with. We've got 54 items we're working on right now. So I just like what I do. So that's my why.
I love it. And you, like you said, OCD helps a lot when you're the type of person who's like what you do. When you're a solutionary and you're out there trying to solve problems, you got to have some OCD, because if you can't keep up with things and check those boxes off exactly the way you know what's going on, because when you get done at the end of the day, because you check boxes, you know what you missed. Right. You know exactly where you need to go back, fix, or whatever you need to complete. And that is the OCD. I have the same thing. So I totally agree with you, Tom. I have that exact same type of mentality. But helping people, what better cause is there for you? There isn't. Every day, if your purpose is to help others, you're going to just smile. You're going to have more energy. You're going to be frustrated sometimes, because sometimes you're going to want to help people and they don't want the help, or they don't seem like they're hearing what you have to say and they're still doing it the wrong way. So it could be a little frustrating, but at the end of the day, it's the most satisfying thing that you could ever do. Giving to others, because the more you give, the more you're going to get. And the more you're going to get part, that's just a byproduct, and you don't even notice it. You're so involved in helping others.
Yes, the more you're going to get to give.
That's it. And that's, it just keeps, it's a cycle, it's a cycle, and we just keep doing it and we keep growing with it, man. And I love that, when you're a solutionary like you, and you're out there and you're just trying to solve problems for people, and you're trying to figure out a way to make life better, whether it's at a dealership, whether it's with your relationships, whether it's with whatever it is, right? You're always looking for that. I love that, man. I love that you said you're OCD, because I'm guilty. So that's awesome stuff.
So with that, there's because so many times we can get fixated on one little particular problem. And I do know that in the hopes that a business keeps growing, a dealership runs into a problem and actually can get paralysis, right? They can get paralyzed by that small little problem while business wants to keep going, right? And to find out there's a guy for that, there's a person that can help you handle that. That's like mind blowing, because you didn't even know that there was the problem. And then you find out, well, there's people that specialize in actually helping this problem come out. And that's what's so encouraging about having somebody like you on the show. Because again, we always want to think of everything being the way that we write the script. But if there's anything that we know, it's that the script doesn't always go according to our penciling, right?
I'm like an app for dealerships, right? There's an app for that.
There's an app for that. Exactly. There's a Tom for that.
There's a Tom for that. Yes, there's a Tom for that.
Tom. And that's what, again, why I appreciate and honor that you do what it is that you do, because you're obsessive about the things that most people are not even paying attention to. And that's really why they hire you, because this is what you're specializing in. And you bring so much experience, you bring so much just knowledge from the past into it. I want to know, you've been a 30-year car dealer. You've been doing this for, how long have you been doing this for dealers?
I started part-time last year. After the dealership sold in 2019, I did some work for the new dealer through the end of last year. So really full-time just started in December. Wow. But part-time I was doing it last year.
Well, that's awesome. Well, we're excited to be part of this journey with you.
Thank you.
Yes, I want to ask you the car guy question of the moment of what is it that made you a car guy? What got you in the car business itself?
Well, my grandfather started in the car business in 1925.
What?
Back when they used to take the car off of the train and the chassis and the body, they used to assemble it next to the railroad tracks.
Wow.
So it's in my DNA. I'm a third generation car guy. And if you think about it, my family's been in the business for almost 100 years.
Wow.
And the country is only 250 years. So like my family's been in the business like 30% of the whole age of the country, of the whole age of the country. So it's in my DNA is the answer to your question.
Wow.
Man, so that's an amazing thing. And that just shows you, folks, this business is a great business to be part of. It's a legacy leaving business, you know, and it's the type of business that you can be part of where you can be the bottom of the barrel, which there's plenty of them out there. I mean, I'd say 80%, 90% of them out there are bottom of the barrel guys that just work and it's a job for them. But then it becomes a lifestyle, a career. And that's what Tom has. His family has shown that. You know, his grandfather, 1925. Are you kidding me? That is so awesome to hear that that number, and you're still part of this business, this amazing business that changes people's lives. People don't realize we don't just sell cars. We solve transportation problems. We put people in vehicles that are so needed. They're so emotional. This is one of the most emotional purchases that people make. I mean, they really do get emotional. I mean, whether it's happiness, aggravation, whatever it is, those emotions get brought up when they go out to buy a vehicle, you know, and you got to try to make sure that those emotions are held to check and try to help them feel like it's smooth and comfortable. And Tom's been doing that now for 3 generations, almost 100 years, a third of what this country's lifespan is. It's amazing what his family's been doing. And he's still carrying on that legacy and that tradition. And he's a problem solver, and he's out there trying to make this business better. Man, you're right up our alley, brother. That's because that's all we're trying to do. We want this business to be better, and we want dealers out there to be doing it the right way, being compliant, being the type of person who takes care of disputes, being the type of person that understands that we're here to help people, not to help ourselves. You know,
right. And going back to what Lou was saying a few minutes ago, when you're thinking about what you're going to type on a response to an internet complaint,
yes,
it's important, and you need to take a breath, and you need to be positive, just like Lou said. But ultimately, what's important is it's not that response. You have to pick up the phone and call the customer and get them back into the store and fix the problem. And then after you fixed it, then you ask the customer to update the review. And you use the word update, not change. Excuse me, I'm sneezing on the truth.
Bless you.
Yes. So you ask the customer to update the review, and you say, hey, you know, we worked really hard to try to get you some help, and it hurts my feelings when these things are out on the internet. So if you'd let people know we're not such bad guys after all, I'd really appreciate that. You don't ask them to change the review, Lou, because if you ask them to change it, they'll feel manipulated, and they'll feel like the only reason that you went to help them is just so they'll go back and do that. So it's a very important part of the business, because those people often will post because they feel like they're not empowered in any other way. And so they'll complain that way, or they'll complain to the Attorney General, they'll complain to the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau or the Federal Trade Commission, all of these places. So it's really important that you solve those problems and mitigate your risk by keeping your customers happy.
That's key on so many different levels, because remember, we're not just talking about making revenue. We're talking about building relationships, right? And you're building relationships with your customers. And sometimes people act out of turn, and it's, again, like we said earlier, it's justified. And sometimes it's completely not. I can't tell you how many customers that we've looked at the review, saw it, salesperson comes up and says, Lou, look at what Mr. Martinez said. You know what I mean? And I'm like, what? We bent over backwards. We did this for them. We did that for them. We did. And there's this one tiny little thing that you didn't even know they were upset about. Or maybe somebody didn't answer their phone quick enough that, you know, they complained to a salesperson's busy. They didn't get back with them in time. Then all of a sudden, that's it. I'm going to Google. And then they'll do their thing. Then eventually they'll make the call to the store. And that's where it gets interesting, because you're in that moment where sometimes you don't get the chance to take the breath. You have the customer on the phone giving you the complaint. You go up to the Google real fast because the salesperson's standing there saying, look, boss. And then you're like reading their review and you're getting fired up. You're like, bro, why would you know what I mean? You want to go into that, and you're sitting there trying to take that breath. You're trying to take it easy. You're like, hey, and you're right. Come in. Let's talk about this. Let's talk about what's going on. Not even mentioning that the review is sitting right there. And then you fix that problem. And then you ask them, can you do me a favor? Can you help give me maybe 1 or 2 more stars? Can you help adjust that just a hair? And then eventually it's like, man, I'm so sorry. I shouldn't have done that. I was mad. And I just, went out and just said a whole bunch of things. I'm sorry about that. I'll take that down. I'll fix it. The customer is usually happy. What I encourage my guys to know is that when that problem does show up, to our step, that's the opportunity to seal something with your customer that you cannot get at any other time. Your relationship gets built at the moment that you show how you fix a problem. Not necessarily that everything was smooth. When a problem shows up, how you deal with that problem is what makes that relationship get tight. I know that some of my best friends growing up were people that we were fist fighting first, right? And then all of a sudden, man, we're best friends. You know,
I mean,
that
bottom line, if any good marriage out there has been through some trials and tribulations, even you could get deep into that. You know, like if when you get into a spiff, or not a spiff, a little fight, I hate to use that word, with your spouse, you know, it's how you deal with that problem. A lot of people will have a major spout and they want a divorce immediately. That is not how you solve problems in relationships. You have to sit down and talk and resolve that. And it's okay. You're supposed to be in arguments. When you love somebody and you're passionate about something, you're going to disagree, and you're both passionate. You're both going to have your sides. But the cool thing is you committed for life. And when you commit to something like that, and you know that's your partner, and you decided that's your partner for life, through sickness and hell, through all that type of stuff, you sit down and you work that out. And how you solve that problem is so key. And it's really easy. It's usually just listen. And that's 99% of the time, all you have to do to solve a problem. Listen to your client, listen to your spouse, listen to your best friend, listen to your brother, listen to your mother, whatever it is, listen. A lot of times they just want to let something off their chest. It's a problem because they feel like you're not going to listen to them. You know, you don't care about my problem. I do. I'm going to listen. You listen, and you'd be surprised just listening. Even if you can't do anything. I've literally told clients, I can't do anything about it, but I hear what you're saying, right? That's what they want to do. They just want you to hear what they're saying. They need to be able to tell it to somebody instead of just their friends. You don't want them telling all their friends. Oh man, this guy they screwed us over, blah, blah, blah. But they're going to tell everybody. Bad news spreads like wildfire. Good news barely goes anywhere. So you have to make sure that you put that fire out quick, and you do it with love and passion, even if it's just, like I said, listening.
Yeah, and
honor
that's the key. On all ends, right? Honor in all
I
ends.
love it. Yeah, honor.
Making sure that people know that, one, you can't be trampled on, right? You have to hold your ground and be honorable. Know that you're defending your business.
Sure.
If there's anything that I'd stand in front of, it's the bullet for my guys. It is so hard. Even if my salesperson is in the wrong, I will still stand there and eat whatever the customer is saying about them and let them know, listen, I have to stand in the way of this for my guys. Correct. I can't let them be treated like that. Please don't speak to my salesperson that way. Let me take care of this issue for you, whether it's a mechanic or a salesperson. The customer, I mean, in a lot of times they have valid points, and you have to be able to listen to it. And we're so quick to defend. But with that, I want to jump in here and give the opportunity before Fred asks the next question for those of you that are out there that have ran into some incredibly strange, weird, probably dealing with problems right this very minute, probably sitting somewhere on the desk that you probably pushed over to the corner, and I don't want to deal with that right now, right? Whatever it is that's going on, if you have questions, please do us a favor, drop them in the comment box. We're going to ask them after we get through with this 5-liner, see what it is that Tom has for you right now, as he gives you explanations to what he would do with maybe some of the problems that you're encountering. So if you have some problems, drop them
this
in.
guy has 3 generations worth of understanding how to solve car transportation problems. Are you kidding me? Come on, folks. If there's somebody out there that can help, we got Tom. He's right here, guys. Seriously.
Hey, Lou, can I just add one thing to what you said for your salesman? It's important, I found, when a customer has a problem and you fix it, they're yours for life. I had customers at the beginning of the internet who posted problems. I resolved those problems. I sold those guys. They would come back and see only me. I'd sell them a car. And there were a couple customers that I sold 6, 7, 8 cars to. They started out as complaints, and they ended up being my buddies for life. And they would come in. They'd say, just take care of me. They knew I would be fair with them.
Yep.
And it was a great relationship. So I just want to build on that and make sure that everybody who's listening knows that by resolving customer problems, you're building your own business. And it can be scary. And you have to know, if you get nervous in front of a customer, just know that and take your time. There's nothing wrong with acknowledging how you feel, making sure you do a checkup with health to make sure what's going on. And then ask for your help, or ask for somebody else's help to make sure the problem can get resolved.
Oh.
Absolutely.
You are a solutionary. You know what's going on. He knows how you do that. And that's exactly right. When you build something like that and you put that trust in place, the only thing that can kill that trust is yourself. So you just make sure you just keep following up the way you're supposed to, and Tom's right. 6, 7, 8 cars, folks. Sometimes it's hard to imagine that because maybe you're a year in the business, maybe you're just a month in the business, and it's hard to imagine, I can sell somebody 6, 7, 8 vehicles. You do that if you do it right. Now you have to take care of your clients. It's not just about selling them a vehicle and saying bye, nice to know you. Follow up with those people. Make sure you take care of them. If there's a customer complaint, you squash it. You literally just, like I said, if anything, listen to what they have to complain about. That is so key. But being able to build that relationship, like he says, now, to the point where the very first time, I always tell this to my guys, and I love that you brought that up, Tom. The very first time you deal with somebody is probably the hardest time. If you do it right, every time it's much easier. They come back and just like you said, just take care of me. They don't even they just know that you're going to take care of them. They don't even worry about it. They're just like, Tom's taking care of me today. That's my car guy. I'm going to go in. He's going to get my car ready. He knows what I need. He's going to let me know what my numbers are, and what the numbers are. They're going to be good numbers because that's what Tom always does. So build that trust, man. Do it. And I love it. That's a great point you made right there. So that leads right into my third question. And my question I'm going to have for you today, Tom, for my third one is, as you were coming up in this business, and I know you're a generational car guy, and you definitely, you bring that, and I can feel that about you, but there's been people along the way that have helped guide you to get to where you're at, who've given you tips, who've told you, hey, you need to listen to your clients, or you need to do these, you need to do that. Who was probably the most influential mentor that you've had since you've come up in this business?
That's a great question. I've had some good ones. But I would say probably my brother, who is 7 years my senior. And he really had been in the business for many years before I got in. So he did a great job. So I can give him a shout out this morning.
Right on. Brotherly love.
That's what's
That's
up.
it.
Heck yeah.
That's
awesome.
it.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, I have a brother that's in the car business. He's my junior. He's 2 years younger. I'm the oldest, so I was the first one in. So I kind of got him into the business, but so I know what you're talking about there. It's a beautiful thing to see family and like I said, it's been generational for you. But giving shout out to your brother. Now, what's your brother's name?
Bob.
Bob.
What's up, Bob?
Bob
Nice
Tom.
to yeah, Bob and Tom. We have you heard the radio show, Bob and Tom in the morning.
That's awesome.
Right.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. That's neat. But yeah, the beautiful thing about that is that you did throw love to your brother. I honestly, I think out of all the years that the year plus that we've been doing this, we've asked that question. I don't think I've ever heard anyone throw a shout out to one of their family members as a brother. I've heard fathers, mothers, but their older brother who showed them the light in this business. Man, that is amazing. Good shout out to Tom, from Tom to Bob. Shout out to you, Bob. I look forward to meeting you one day. That's going to be nice. So is he still in the business?
He's doing some consulting for dealerships. Yeah,
that's what you're supposed to do.
You guys should be doing 100 years almost.
There's definitely that. You guys definitely have a lot of knowledge to pass on. There's no doubt about that, and that's great that you guys are doing that out there, consulting and helping dealers, and it's amazing. So love it. Shout out to your big bro.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think that we might have maybe one other guest that might be able to jump on the show. If we ever have Paul Damos on the show, we might say Matt Damos.
Yeah,
right. That might be another
that
brother connection that might come in here. So when I say that, I mean, really just to say that we have so many different layers inside of this business that we can see different light in. And that's, again, why we bring somebody in here. An answer to a question that we ask all the time, completely unique, as you say that it's your brother that has been a mentor to you. And in this business, it's key that we have those people that can cut on us, those people that can tell us the truth when it hurts, and still say it with love. The truth in a way that we understand we need to correct ourselves. Because again, as a problem shows up its way inside of a dealership, it doesn't get easy to deal with if you're constantly not trying to see where you can improve in it. Right.
And the important part about that, Lou, is I always told my employees that problems in dealerships are like rotten fish. They don't smell better as time goes on.
That's right.
So it's important to just handle them. And there's an expression that your first loss is your best loss, which means that the first time you encounter the problem, if you fix it right then and there, you're going to spend the least amount of money fixing it, or the least amount of time fixing it. If you procrastinate it and push it off like a customer problem, you think, okay, well, this customer's never going to come back. I can't fix them. There's nothing I can do, which I don't agree with. There's always something you can do.
Yes. Tell them. That's right.
I mean, there's always something you can do. Even if you can't sell them a car, you can give them $100 gift certificate to go have dinner out on the dealership if you've upset them for some reason. I mean, there is always something you can do. And I've been told, you know, when I got to a hotel late at night and midnight and I'm ready to go to sleep because I got a 7 a.m. meeting, and I said I'm ready to check in, and I'm an ex-smoker, so I don't want a room that's, you know, been smoked in. And they said, well, all that's left is smoking rooms, and it's midnight and there's no other hotels around. And the clerk says, there's nothing I can do. And I'm like, there's tons of stuff you could do. You could make a reservation for me at a different hotel. You could give me free breakfast. You could say, I'm sorry. Yeah. You could do anything. There's lots of things you can do. So it's always that way with a customer. You can find some way to try to find some common ground.
And if a customer sees that you're doing that, just seeing that you're seeking a solution, just seeing that you're putting forward the effort. And sometimes you might come back to them and let them know, I don't have a solution for this. But at least they know you tried. At least they know you put in the effort. At least they know that to you, they matter. And the business itself has its reputation, a lot of it earned, right? Where that's it. They bought, they're done, kick them out. It's over. Bye. We're done with them, on to the next, right? And that mentality does not work going forward with all of the competition that there is for businesses to keep their customers, keep their clientele, keep their personnel, right? You can't just say, screw them, F them, forget them, don't worry about it. No, everybody has value. And if your heart isn't postured in a way to try to legitimately seek a solution for somebody, then why are you doing your business, right? We're here to serve. You know, the posture of leadership that I love taking is that servant mentality. Even Jesus did it. He said, I'm going to wash your feet while you're trying to figure out who's going to be the best at the table. I'm going to wash your feet, right? The perfect one. I'm going to be the one that cleans you all up. But when we do put that effort forward, when we do have a culture that is consistently, and again, this word is always going to keep coming up, especially here in the future. You're going to see it a lot more, but consistently trying to find that solution, you're going to find new solutions that you didn't even know were out there. You're going to find new connections, like to Tom, of people that can find ways to fix the problem that you didn't know you were going to encounter. And ultimately, it makes everybody the better. It makes everybody more rounded as leaders, managers, you know, friends, people in general. And I'm excited about that. Now, you've encountered so many different problems, and I would usually ask it in the form of, what's the biggest problem that you've encountered inside of your career to help you get where you are? But I'm going to ask this on the side of a dealer. What has been one of the largest challenges that you've seen and helped a dealership overcome and then see reconciliation inside of that? So it's multi-layered, but hopefully you get what I mean.
Yep, I do. I think I have to start by responding and saying that when you're handling a customer complaint, the dealership needs to get rid of the paradigm of we didn't do anything wrong.
Come on.
It doesn't matter if it's the customer's perception, and if you don't resolve it, then somebody else is going to create a bigger problem for you. So I think changing a paradigm of we didn't do anything wrong and we shouldn't spend any money fixing this, I think that's really one of the biggest challenges dealers have, outside of nothing bad's going to happen to me. I don't need to worry about compliance. I don't need to worry about all the things that Tom's talking about, because it's not going to happen to me. It is going to happen to them. I mean, even if you're not a bad guy, right? There are a lot of bad dealers out there. There are a lot of great dealers out there. There's a situation that was recently published last year about Bronx Honda. I don't know if you heard about the Federal Trade Commission and Bronx Honda.
No.
In short, they were doing false advertising, and as a result of false advertising, they took advantage of a lot of people. And as a result of that, they had to sign a consent form with the Federal Trade Commission that the FTC, now get this, the FTC has to approve their advertising for 20 years.
Holy crap. That's a long. Yeah, that's a long time.
20 years. So you can try to do things the right way, but if your head's in the sand and you're not working on compliance and continuous improvement activity and working on these things, if a regulator ever comes into your business and you can't show them that you're trying to do things the right way, and the right way starts with fixing customer problems. Because let's face it, problems start usually on two legs. They're either disgruntled customers, or disgruntled employees. One of those two. And subsequent to that, the next problem is advertising problems. Is your advertising so edgy that it's not compliant? And so, reviewing or having somebody like me or anybody review your advertising, to review your website, to make sure your disclaimers are correct. When was the last time, with all the dealers out there, please go look at your disclaimers today. Every time I go look at a dealership website, the disclaimers are wrong. And there's also often a disconnect, Lou, between what the disclaimer says and how the salesmen are trained on the floor to handle that. For example, some dealerships like to put plus freight in their disclaimer. All prices on the internet are, plus a processing fee, plus taxes, plus freight. Well, if the salesmen aren't trained on how to handle that, when a customer comes in and says, I want to buy this SUV for $47,000, great, come on over, let's write it up. And they write it up and it's $47,000 plus the $1,250 freight, then the customer's going to get upset. And so that disconnect is very, very important between compliance and the sales staff. Everything has to work together or you're going to upset customers. So I know that's a little bit of a longer answer to your question, but
it's right on the money.
It was a long question. So
yeah, no, you answered that right on the money, and that is huge, and you're right. The whole team needs to be in unison. Everybody needs to be trained on what is going on. Everybody needs to understand the verbiage. Everybody needs to understand how to explain the verbiage, right? And by doing that, it helps you with that compliance. And like you said, it's all perception. If the customer feels like they were treated and done wrong, they were done wrong. It doesn't matter if you did it right or not. It's the fact that they believe that and they feel that way. So you have to always make sure, without no doubt, that your salesperson knows what's going on, the management knows what's going on, everybody's on the same page. So when the client gets to the dealership and they're treated the way they're treated, it's uniform. Everybody knows what's going to happen. They know what's happening, and they don't feel like they just got thrown in an extra fee at the very last second, right? And that can really upset somebody, especially when you're anticipating only pay so much. I mean, I can go somewhere and think, okay, it's if somebody even adds $5 to my bill, I'm like, what is that? What is this $5? Where'd that come from? You told me this, and this. What's this? Well, this is a convenience fee. No, I'm not paying that convenience fee.
Right. It's not convenient for me.
Yeah, right. Sounds pretty convenient for you, my friend. So,
I think sounds like you've been on StubHub or Ticketmaster recently.
You know it, man. You're exactly right.
This is more than the ticket.
Man, yeah.
It's ridiculous. It's not. I always say the same thing when I buy. It's like, it's not convenient for me, man.
Yeah, exactly right.
Man, there was a convenience fee that I saw on man, it's going to come to me probably later on, but it was like a little $5. It was like a $5 convenience fee for something that was really silly. And we're like, how is that convenient? I don't even understand why you're calling this fee a convenience fee. Because it's not convenient for anybody. And there's key people that are out there that are either seeking that this is a problem. Mm-hmm. Like, I mean, even when I get my dinner, I got to be honest, when I get my dinner ticket or my check, right, I just take it, I throw the card on it and go from there. And I try to get it done quick, right? But a lot of times, especially when I'm with my wife, it's like, slip. Let's take a look. Let's see that. Wait a minute. I got a water. I didn't get a drink. There's only 3 of these on here. And it's like, oh, okay, well, great. Well, I appreciate that. So, because I hate having the conversation of, hey, you didn't get this right. You know what I mean? And trying to highlight that. But sometimes it takes that addressing. You got to say something. And then when the wife does find it, she'll sit there and be like, are you going to say something about that? Like, no, baby, I'm just going to let it fly. Well, you need to say something about that because that's not right. You know, and like, you're right. You know what? You're right. I should say something about it because it's not right. If you feel like you're being wrong, sometimes it's easy to forgive, focus, fly, and move over. But at the same time, you don't know where a person can improve just by seeing that you notice there's an issue here. And you impede their growth by not addressing that. So many times we can brush it over. That problem can get dusty over in the corner because you didn't want to look at it. But you also cut yourself out of the victory of solving that problem, of getting that trust back with the customer, of getting that solution inside of your solution bank. Right. And that's something that's so important for all of us to be able to analyze and do. Yeah. And again, there's people like you, Tom. You got your brother Bob and Tom, I love it, that are finding a way to bring solutions generationally. We're so thankful for that. But those of you that are out there, car guys, car gals, and all you solutionaries that are listening, watching, hearing this, however it is that you are, understand that your reputation is so key, but your reputation has to actually represent you. It has to actually be who you are. You don't want your business to be perceived as anything other than what you dream it to be. And a lot of times it's going to be that way because of the problems that you do solve for your customers. Yep. It's how you deal with that problem again that makes them understand how real you are. That's right. How much you care about your business and the people that you serve. So, I mean, I can't say it enough, but we're also in a key time, right, Tom? I'm sure that you can probably jump on this. We're in a key time right now where, again, we're printing money like out of control, right? We're giving it away, and of course, very warranted. There's a lot of happy faces because a lot of people got a bunch of fat pockets, right? But there's regulation that's getting ready to come down, right? Whole new administration, whole new flow of how we deal with these problems, and money's gonna have to start coming from somewhere. There's going to have to start being fees. There's going to have to start being some inspections, and dealers, instead of here, and I give this quick example. Sorry to keep going so long, but the inspector left your store the other day, right? Yeah, left your store the other day. We put the flag up in the air. They're on their way. They're coming to inspect, right? They're going from dealership to dealership doing their thing. Never actually came to our store, but it was pretty quick for us. I was so proud of it for that moment that I was able to go look at my tag book. Everything's in line, make sure that the corrections were there. Take a walk around the lot real fast. I did that in maybe about 3 minutes. I was able to take a quick walk around the lot because we're a little light on inventory, right? And we're able to see that the stickers were where they were supposed to be. We were in line. We had our process in place. Then we called up everybody else and said, hey, look, we might get inspected here in a moment. Just make sure that the stickers are where they're supposed to be. The cars are parked where they are and everything is visible. Good. Go do your thing. It was quick, 15 minutes that we made sure that we were really, really ready for a solid inspection because we maintained it on a consistent basis. We didn't keep brushing aside doing the right thing all of the time. But these regulations are coming. People are going to come inspecting and trying to feed you to death for the little tiny things that are easy to miss. Do you believe that that's coming, or am I just shooting air out there?
No, it's absolutely coming. Biden, you might say, is brewing solutions.
Yes, he is.
The Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, I think 3-4 weeks ago, sent out a press release that they are looking to hire more lawyers. Now, they're looking to hire more lawyers for enforcement. They're not doing that because they need to fill the vending machines. They're gonna enforce, and they're gonna enforce against dealers. And what happens when a regulator walks in, first of all, it's impossible to comply with everything. You just can't. And that's just a reality. However, if you can show in some tangible way that you are trying to comply with all the rules and regulations, and here's what we're doing to solve customer problems, and here's what we're doing to on recalls, we're making sure on used cars we send all the recalls to the other dealerships, right, for your non-brand names, to make sure that those get done before you sell them to customers. And before you represent that you're certified, right? They might not be certified by the manufacturer, but they're dealer certified. And if you sell a car, for example, and the recall didn't get done, that's a problem. But if you can document where you're doing all these things and you're trying to comply,
right,
then the difference when a regulator comes in is you're going to write a couple $1,000 check versus a couple $100,000 check.
Mhm.
I mean, one of the things I do when I walk in a dealership before a meeting, sometimes I'll go through all the salesmen's desks and I'll look on everybody's computer and see what customer information is laying out, as an example. Each of those violations is $11,000 a violation. Each used car that doesn't have an FTC buyer's guide is $11,000 per violation. Each car this is a crazy one. I didn't make this up, but this is true. Each car on the showroom that doesn't have their front seat belt buckled is an $11,000 fine.
I did not know.
What?
There's one I didn't know. Wow, that is crazy.
It's crazy. So if you can show, and if you sit down with the regulator and say, look, the car didn't have a seatbelt. You're right, it didn't. But let me show you what we do so that we try to comply with all these rules. And you go through your minutes and you go through your twice monthly training with your sales staff, which is what I think best practices are, which is you train your sales staff and you have everybody sign an acknowledgement of training and stick it in their personnel file. So the regulator walks in, you say, well, we trained on this, and we trained on this, and we trained on this, and we trained on this, we trained on, I'm sorry, this particular item is screwed up. You're totally right. We're wrong. But this isn't from a lack of trying. This is from holy cow. So I apologize. Let me write you a check for a couple thousand, but not a couple 100,000.
Can you hear us?
Can you hear us now?
I can hear you now.
Damn,
Sorry
we
about
can hear
that.
you.
Somehow our Roadcaster froze on us. It's the
I'm
first
gonna
time
write
it's
them
happened.
a review of festivity.
Roadcaster, I'm not happy with you.
Ah!
Tom, no, you sorry about that, man. I know we apologize to all you out there. We got a little moment of silence for this little break that we had to get to, but no, seriously, Tom, you're really bringing some great information here. And for all y'all out there who are looking to figure out what is the missing link at your dealership, if you know, and you know it, if you're a dealer out there, you know that you're not doing it 100% right, reach out to Tom. I got his number down here. You see it? See his mobile number? I believe that's correct, right, Tom?
That is correct.
He's got his email address. His website's obviously www.bettervantagepoint.com. Make sure you reach out to him. You talk to him. Folks, we're getting ready to hit him with this fifth question. Now, we've talked about the things that he's working on, helping dealers get better at. Now let's talk about what his greatest reward is. Now, so Tom, what has been the greatest reward from all the stuff that you've done in this business and all the things that you've been able to pass on? What has been the greatest reward that you have received from doing this?
It's a great question. I'd say how I feel about myself. I'd say I am confident in my abilities. I'm a happy guy. I appreciate being here. Being in the business has allowed me to see some things and do some things that I wouldn't have normally been able to do. So I'd say how I feel about myself. That may be a little too warm and fuzzy or whatever, but I think that's going to be my answer.
Again, a very, 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 very unique answer to the question. You've done that on every single
No, you really have
asked so far. You've definitely been out of the box, and that's awesome. I mean, again, everybody is different. We all have our greatest rewards. We all have our history, and everybody's has value. Everybody's has something that's a little different because everybody looks at it different. Your customer looks at things differently, and you adapt to them. Your biggest hater does things differently, and you adapt to them. Some people are going to hate no matter what you do, right, Tom? I mean, that's just sometimes their nature, and as unfortunate as it is, what you can't change is anybody else. You have to stay focused on what you can do, focused on what you can change, focused on what you can improve,
what you have control over, period.
That's right. And as we do that, we realize, look, we have the chance to create a great product, whether you're the one making the car or you're the one making the deal. You have a chance to make a great product and put it out there. And sometimes you can put a little clear coat on a bad paint job and it may look a little better, right? But it's still a bad paint job with a little clear coat, a little shiny bad paint job. But you can present your company the very best way as possible. And then you can add a little bit of protection, right? A little bit of protection on the outside of the car, but inside of your business, when it comes to protecting your dollars, your cents, your process, your business, my man Tom Kline is just like our friends over at Exogloss.
You know it.
Rocking out with that appearance protection.
Hey, speaking of Gary Silman, I mentioned the guy I spoke with yesterday for the hour conversation I had about compliance and stuff. There he is. He just popped up here, says everybody has their own path. Great job, guys. Thank you for being here this morning, Gary. I threw a little love at you earlier. So
Speaking of having your own path, I mean, again, you're very direct and to the point, which is exactly what somebody wants out of a mitigation artist like yourself, right? And
absolutely,
that's given us a little bit of time to have. I mean, this is a little bit of a shorter five-liner. These us yackers over here will make 2 hours out of a 10-minute conversation, but we do appreciate.
That's why we have a podcast.
Exactly. But you're always helping somebody see the next thing that's coming, because one day there's a problem in front of you, the next day, poof, it's like smoke and it's gone, and you're trying to always find a way to get to your next sale.
Love it. Next Sale app, reach out to them. This app is going to blow.
Reach out to us.
Reach out to us. Yeah, we actually are connected in there. We're actually part of the board. So just holler at us. We can get you hooked up on them. That app is I'm telling you, if you don't have it at your store and you're having problems with accountability and your guys doing follow-up, you guys getting the reviews, you guys doing all that type of stuff, this Next Sale app is going to change the game up for you. It's going to help you hold your team responsible and accountable. That's what you're supposed to do. Right? So make sure you do it. Post to do it. So make sure you do that. Reach out to us. Next Sale app is hot. Next review app, all that stuff. Reach out.
Yes. So Tom, is there anything else that you would like to drop out there as far as making sure that people know how important it is that they start taking these situations seriously so that they avoid an avalanche of hard issues to try to tackle? Because like we said earlier, it could be paralyzing. It could be crippling. You could get stuck, not solving problems and not finding new business because you're stuck trying to clean up a mess just because you didn't know that there's somebody out there to help you with that.
Yeah. So it's a good question, because it's easy to be paralyzed with fear. Like, I don't know what to do or where to start. And one great easy place to start, something I posted actually on LinkedIn yesterday, is a compliance charter. It's like a starter kit for how to start a compliance program if you don't have one. Wow. And anybody who wants that, I'll be glad to email it to them in Word form. If you just send me an email at tomk@bettervantagepoint.com, I'll shoot it over to you. It just says that we are going to comply and we're going to take efforts to start our compliance program. And my best advice is just start. And if you need to know how to start, call me and I'll help. But you know, what's the Chinese proverb that all journeys begin, all 1,000 steps, you have to take the first step. So take the first step, and then you're on your way.
That's it.
And I think that's my best advice for anybody who doesn't know where to start.
I love that, and you're right on the money with that. And here's the thing: he's 100% right. If you didn't hear what he just said, if you're not compliant, the only way to fix it is to start right now. Right. If you wait till tomorrow, you're a day behind. It's every day that you go by, it gets worse. So the best thing to do is start now, and it will fix itself. But you have to make a commitment to that. And when you do, and you make that change, it will change your life. You know, the best time to start was 15 years ago. 20 years ago, right? But now, what's the second best time? Right now. So start right now. Get a hold of Tom K at bettervantagepoint.com. Reach out to him. You can reach out to me. We'll get you connected to him. Whatever you want to do, reach out. And if you need a little bit of help, I promise you, this will help you so much. It'll take that weight off your shoulder, and you'll be able to move forward, focus, and fly where you want to go. Get rid of that unforgiveness and let it go.
And you'll be able to sleep better at night. And Fred, you'll be able to sleep better at night.
Way
oh my goodness. And most likely on some nice silk sheets, silk pillowcases, because you're doing it right. When you're doing things right things tend to happen. So I encourage that. And man, I'm so glad we had you on the show today to talk about this subject, because this is huge and it is getting ready to become even bigger. And I think there's going to be a lot of dealers out there that are who watch this, who don't do anything about it, are going to really regret it if they don't start today. And if you're already doing it, fantastic. There's always something you could always improve on. So make sure you improve on that. Tom could even show you maybe the little things that you're missing out on. Like you said, it is impossible to make everything perfect. But the idea is to try to be perfect, just like us. None of us are perfect. Not one human being out there is perfect. But the idea is to try to be the best version and try to be as perfect as you can.
I think except for Lou.
Yeah, except for Lou. Yeah, this dude's on the money. I can't get him to do anything wrong. I don't know what it is.
Right.
I tell you, so many things in the room for improvement we got to clear up. But we are solutionaries. So remember, we're not focused on the problem.
That's it.
And because we take the proper proactive action, we're not fearful of a problem coming up. It's almost like we dare a problem to come up, because in the opportunity to solve it, we get the chance to say, well, there's another victory. There's another lesson that we've learned. There's another relationship that's gotten a little bit better. There's another way of our business that can improve. I believe that it's because of many problems that we have many businesses that we have, right? The automotive industry is what it is because people can't get where they need to go on a horse and buggy every single day unless you are inside of your own community, like you're Amish, right? So many people commute so far. So many people don't trust public transportation if you have a city that has that. So this automotive industry is still consistently fixing a problem. My man Tom's been doing it his family has been doing it for nearly 100 years, nearly a century of time, have been solving transportation problems for the community. And now he's dedicated to take his personal 30 years of experience and help bring that to you. And he'll do it with a little bit of Java, right?
That's right.
Java, a little bit of jive.
Yo, I'll solve it.
Oh, get it. But remember, we do not own the rights to that music.
We do not own the rights to that song, but I wish I did, because that song
Vanilla Ice,
made a lot of money.
You do own the rights to that music, and you're more than welcome to come on the show and
anytime, man,
perform your song the best way possible.
Bro, I'll break out the whole dance with them and everything.
Me too. Me too.
Whoa. Right. But no, Tom, we are so thankful that we had the opportunity to do this. Yes. So thankful that the schedule opened up to get you in here even sooner than planned. And now we want to make sure that we do keep this trumpet out there for people to know, hey, listen, you don't have to get caught by surprise. We are proactively getting out there and letting you know to be prepared for this. Boom. Before the pandemic showed up, right, we were already trying to pour out the positivity all over everybody. That's just the lifestyle that we have as people. It's why we're seeing the success that we're seeing in other people, right? It's not just us. It's many other people are growing because they're able to take a look at the positive and bring positive to the negative. We believe that that's what jump starts things inside of your life. And Tom, again, we honor you. I can get so wordy about it. I'm very passionate about meeting people and learning. But I also just having foresight, see what you're saying, understand this regulation's coming. This isn't part of it's a joke and we can be lighthearted about it, right? But it's not a joke when it shows up at your door. And the car business itself is all, okay, now we need to do all this technology. Now we need to learn how to do these things that people have been telling them they needed to do for years. They realize they actually need to do if they want to do business. But now we're also saying, hey, guess what? This regulation's on its way. You don't have to be caught by surprise, and you don't have to do this alone. There are people that can walk you through this and help you get to where it is that you want to be so that you do have a stronger, a better foundation in your business. Tom, again, we honor you. You are a solutionary of solutionaries. Literally, that's what you do. You seek the problems that people try to hide from. Man. And I honor that. You know, that's great. That's awesome heart that you have. Brother, thank you again for being on the show.
Thank you.
We appreciate your time. We appreciate everything about you, man. Thanks for being a solutionary in a world that needs it right now. And we look forward to growing with you. We look forward to, collabing with you. We look forward to being able to bring you into a lot of different dealerships because we're getting ready to bring a lot of stuff to dealerships across the country. And to be able to offer something like that and be able to have somebody that we know is a true solutionary when it comes to those types of issues and those types of problems at dealerships, it's good to be connected with you, man. And I appreciate your time.
I appreciate being on the show. Thank you, guys. Thanks for having me.
Not a problem at all, man.
As we leave, make sure that you all know what it tastes like, what it sounds like when you have a cup of Car Guy coffee. It tastes just like this. What? Oh, that's so delicious. If you get some of that inside of you, car guys, car gals, remember, you can go to carguycoffee.com, get you some of this solutionary serum so that you can improve your day. Upshifted, uplifted.
That's right.
Having a good time. I am Lou Ramirez, the car guy.
And I'm Frelin Arts, the subprime hero.
And we have been brewing solutions with our friend,
Tom Kline. Woo!
Car Guy Coffee Podcast. We are enjoying the opportunities that we have to keep improving, keep on moving, keep on doing, keep on finding a way to keep, I don't know where to go with that. Brewing! There we go! That's what I'm talking about. That's my brother, the subprime hero. But guys, gals, do what it is that you do. Again, thank you, Eccentric, for these incredible mugs and for making sure that we are always brewing solutions with the right kind of mug. For those of you that are out there trying to make something happen, keep listening to the Car Guy Coffee Podcast. Let's brew.
Yes.
Love you all. Appreciate you all. Have a good one. Tom, thank you so much again. We'll meet you back and talk to you here in a minute. For those of you that are still trying to find a way to improve what it is that's going on inside of your dealership world, we encourage you. Reach out to us. We have some solutions for you. We have some ways and connections to help you caffeinate your culture. And if you are serious about trying to find solutions on a daily basis and build a culture that maintains it, it's not we just show up one time or we just do one thing with you and hopefully that momentum keeps going. No, the force is with you, right? I mean, get super Star Wars up in here, but the force, you putting application, you putting your efforts forward is what's going to move your business where it is that you want to go. And we want to help add to that. We want to help bring the culture to you. So please reach out to us if you are curious at all as to what we can do to help caffeinate your business. You can reach me at 270-268-5386. You can reach Fred at
270-872-9277 anytime, any place, just like freaking Janet Jackson.
Right? So do what it is that you can do to seek solutions out wherever it is that you are. But if you are in a situation where you really need to get something different, get something new, and bring a joy to your business that you've never had before, please reach out to us. We are the certified solutionaries.
That's right.
We are here to help improve your culture from the top to the bottom and all around. And plus, you see all these incredible people like Tom Kline and all these great people that we've been having the opportunity to build relationships with. They want to help you too. And we want to help get them connected to you so that you can improve and you can go beyond your wildest dreams.
That's it.
Again, thank you so much for joining us today. We love you all. Fred?
Man,
Great brew, man.
Great brew to you too, brother. Good times, man. I always love having people like Tom on the show. People like that are definitely out there trying to make a difference in this business. And, and the more that we can unite and amplify the voices of people like that, it's, to me, is all I want to do. That's what this whole show is about. It's to bring light to the business. It's to bring a change to this business. And man, solutionaries like Tom, solutionaries like everybody we have on our show. It just, I feel so honored and privileged to have them here, to have a conversation with them. It really helps me grow. And I hope it's doing the same thing for you all out there. So I know it's doing it for them. It's doing it for us. It's the whole point for us to be able to share. And the more you share, the more you care, and the more you're going to get. I promise you. So keep growing, folks. We
love you all. Have a great and incredible day. Finish out March strong.
Woo! 2 days left. Wow.
Woo!
Crazy month. It's been an amazing month. I hope you all are experiencing similar success. Keep growing.
Keep growing. Keep growing.